We are in a crypto bull market and everybody is wrong about when this bull market is gonna end. And you're gonna get wrecked.
Hey guys, I'm Britta Thans. Remember, Paul is not a financial advisor, but he is good looking. Also, this is not financial advice. Please subscribe down below and check out my channel at Britta Thans.
Alright, if you've been watching this channel, then you know that I have made some pretty accurate calls when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on this channel. I mean, we called the double top in the last bull market. We even called the 30K bottom in between that double top, and we predicted 15.6K before it even got there as a Bitcoin bottom in the last bear market, and won a bet with Gareth Soloway. And I explained back then, and I explained multiple times since, that the bull market comes in 3 stages. And the third stage is actually split into 2. Now, typically, we go by the 4-year cycle when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. But I have reason to believe that this cycle, this bull market, is actually going to be shorter than what it usually is. And if you don't pay attention, you might completely get wrecked. Now you might say, Paul, but everyone's talking about 2025, it's an election year, we have a Bitcoin ETF, how is that possible? Well, how do you mean, why is that possible? I mean, we had a longer bear market than usual, didn't we? Why wouldn't a shorter bull market be in the cards? Listen, markets have a way of getting everybody wrecked. Most people get wrecked when it comes to trading or investing, especially in crypto. After all, that's how I called the 15.6K Bitcoin bottom. It was actually the sweet spot to get most people wrecked, amateurs and professionals alike. So the question is, what would it take to get everybody wrecked in this bull market? What would be the sweet spot to get professionals and amateurs completely off game? And look, you have to understand, things have changed. And look, in just 1 second, I'm going to explain to you why I think the bull market might actually be shorter lived, why it will end faster, so you can actually protect yourself and protect those gains. But before I go on, listen, I know what you're thinking. Paul, how do you know that this bull market is ending? How can you be 100% sure that it's ending? What is that bald head of yours, a crystal ball now? Baldanamus? And look, no, I'm not 100%, and this bald head, it's not a crystal ball, although it is shiny. But when I called the 15.6K bottom in Bitcoin last time, I wasn't 100% sure either. But I had a strategy, and that's what I want to talk about, and that's what I want to give you today. I want to give you a strategy so you can protect yourself, but also maximize your profits as much as possible without getting wrecked. Again, okay, so let's start with my thesis here. And again, this is not a prediction, this is not a call. It's way too early to call anything right now. It's just something I'm looking over, it's something I'm studying, and the closer we get to the time, we can reevaluate and see if it's the case. Okay, so I believe that this crypto bull market will end somewhere in the end of 2024, fourth quarter of 2024, and beginning of 2025. Let's say the first quarter of 2025. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind here. When I say that the crypto bull market will top, that's not to say that you can't still make money and still make gains. But I don't know if it's going to be a blow-off top or if it's going to be the top and we're slowly going to go down. We don't know that yet. We're going to have to look at the charts when the time comes, reevaluate, and check our thesis. But for right now, I'm looking at a few factors. Now, I'm not going to mention all the factors here because it's going to become a really long video, but I'll give you the important ones. Number 1, we have a Bitcoin ETF. Number 2, we have a potential stock market crash. And yes, stock market crash in an election year. We'll talk about this later on, as well as my spelling here, because it's with 1 L, obviously. And number 3, we have historical charts price history, and macroeconomics. Okay, number one, we have a Bitcoin ETF, and this correlates Bitcoin and cryptocurrency more to traditional markets. I mean, yes, it's bringing people in from stock markets, it's bringing in hedge funds, it's going to bring in institutions, it's going to bring in a lot of older money, so to speak. But these people are used to traditional finance, not crypto. And the question is, will they see Bitcoin as a hedge, as a safe haven like gold, or will they see Bitcoin as a high-risk asset? And this is going to play a vital role for my thesis. Hey, Paul here, real quick. This video you're watching is not sponsored, so I guess it's sponsored by me. So if you want to work with me one-on-one or check out my courses, they're actually linked down below this video, where you can also find some valuable free webinars just for you. Please like this video and let's get back to the video you were watching. Now, I believe they're going to see Bitcoin as a high-risk asset, at least in the short term, especially if the stock market takes a dive and panic sets in. Could Bitcoin decouple later on in the future and act independently? Sure, yes, why not? But in the short term, the likelihood is they're going to see it as a high-risk asset or like a tech stock. And don't forget, in traditional markets, when there is a drop of 20%, that's considered a bear market. While in crypto, a 20% drop is just another Tuesday. So if there's a bear market, then Bitcoin will probably drop and enter a bear market as well, taking other cryptocurrencies with it. Number two, there may be a stock market crash. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Interest rates, election year. The narrative is that markets tend not to drop on an election year, and if Trump wins these elections, the markets should skyrocket right after, taking Bitcoin with them. And this may be the case at first. But we have seen markets crash shortly after elections before. And don't get me started on interest rates. I mean, when everybody was saying that the markets are going to drop because they're raising interest rates, we saw the markets rally. On the contrary, we've seen the opposite hold true. We've seen the markets drop when interest rates were lowered or when interest rates were at zero. I'm not talking about what YouTubers are showing you, what YouTubers showed you last year and what the narrative was, and you all believed them. I'm talking about historical charts. If you look at historical charts, you will see a different picture painted than the one they were showing you on YouTube. And you might be thinking to yourself right now, and you might be saying, Paul, but the economy. Markets are not the economy. And markets do not have to be rational. As a matter of fact, they're usually not rational. That's why most people get wrecked and most people get things wrong, because they try to apply logic to markets. It just doesn't work. That's why I don't look at news events in my analysis. I do mostly price action and technical analysis with a bit of macro. And as far as the macro is concerned, look, I think we're gonna have a rude awakening. People seem to be forgetting that shit has already hit the fan. It just takes time for that shit to start spreading everywhere. And you only start to notice when it's time to clean that shit up. That's when you feel it the most. And it stinks. So what am I saying here? What am I saying? I'm saying that it's possible that we're gonna have a top end of 24, beginning 2025. And what you want to be doing is you want to be taking profits into Bitcoin from altcoins towards the end of 2024 and beginning 2025. See, you need to base your strategy accordingly to protect yourself, but also not miss any potential gains. So why am I saying to take profits into Bitcoin here? Well, it's very simple. Taking profits into Bitcoin will protect you while still keeping you exposed to crypto. So if the markets go down and we see we need to buy the dip, then you can use Bitcoin to buy altcoins on the dip. But also you can protect yourself because Bitcoin tends to fall slower than other cryptocurrencies. Plus, if we enter a bear market and you don't have time to take profits, Bitcoin is the safest thing to hold through a bear market because chances are it's going to meet and retest its all-time highs and pass them again in the future. Then what you want to be doing is taking profits from Bitcoin into USDT or USD or whatever fiat currency you want for the bear market. And yes, you can hodl if you want. I hodl as well, but I only hodl a small bag. I usually take profits in bear markets. I like to be able to afford to buy my girlfriend ice cream, and I like to be able to live off of my profits. I don't want to hold for another 272 days and not have anything to show for it. Now, you want to do this gradually. I'm going to actually spell this out. Gradually. In other words, slowly. In other words, in proportion. When I say start taking profits, I don't mean exit all markets in panic as if your girlfriend caught you staring at that blonde chick across the street. Maybe she hasn't seen you yet. Maybe she wants to ask you a question, which is usually a stupid question. Like, are you hungry? I'm a man. I'm always hungry. Now, when Bitcoin tops and does a blow off top, or if Bitcoin tops and slowly goes down, generally speaking, sorry about that, that was my pen, not me, but yeah, this looks pretty accurate. But what usually happens, altcoins will sometimes keep going up. They'll keep giving you profits. So there is still money to be made. It's just that you need to protect yourself because when it does go down, when altcoins do go down, they go down fast. But if you're taking profits into Bitcoin, you're actually still exposed to crypto. But if there is a drop, then at least it drops less than other coins. And you can actually take profits from Bitcoin into USDT or whatever we evaluate at the time. And again, this is not 100%. We have to wait and see and reevaluate. It all depends how we run up there and what signs we see. But generally speaking, if you see Bitcoin going crazy, if you see altcoins going crazy, if you see the neighbors, your Uber driver, and people in the street selling flowers getting rich, giving cryptocurrency advice, it's usually a sign that we're getting to the end. Everyone gets cocky, everyone thinks they're a genius. The XRP army can finally afford to buy ice cream for their girlfriend, which they may or may not have. But when that happens, make sure you watch this video, bookmark this video, and watch it again, because the countdown will have started. Now make sure you watch this video right here and next. Don't ghost me here. Watch this video, it's extremely important. You don't want to miss it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.